I can't believe I've come this far. I've walked over 40 miles across some incredible landscape. From the mouth of the mighty River Tyne in the east, through Headon on the Wall, to Steel Rig. All the while, learning some amazing stuff about the Romans. And I don't want this one to end. The places I've been to.
This is just what you need after a long, hot day.
The things I've learned.
There's places that will repeat here, you're absolutely right.
There was.
The people I've seen.
I'll have a sherry. Hey, hey!
But for the next 46 miles, I need a pick-me-up that you can only get at the crack of dawn.
All right, it's early. It's what we call in my profession, stupid o'clock. Now, a lot of people say, you know, Robson, it's not about the journey, but about the destination. And I hope the place I'm going this morning is worth it, because I am up with the larks. Or in this case, the bees.
The Romans loved honey, but they didn't just put it on toast. To them, it was a drug, a cure for acne, for constipation, a pick-me-up. They even made it into booze, just the tonic I need. Luke and Susie Hutchison are as mad for honey as the Romans were.
Morning, guys. Morning. Hey, you two must really like honey.
Oh, we love it.
Today, some of their bees are being allowed to roam over this stunning hillside to fill their boots with heather nectar before the winter sets in.
It's very, very early. Aren't the bees asleep? And won't they get really angry when we wake them
The
up?
bees work 24/7. So,
Do they?
yeah, so...
The bees don't sleep?
No.
Do they sense fear?
Possibly.
You don't sweat. Whatever you do, don't sweat.
Yeah, no sweating.
Really? Oh, I've got control over that.
Yeah.
You saying that has just started to make me sweat. Right. Have any of you been stung before?
Well, it varies. Some days you don't get stung at all. Other days are like you might get stung 4 or 5 times.
And when you got stung 4 or 5 times, did it hurt?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're not what you call thick gloves, are they?
Oh no, they can sting through the gloves and the suit.
Why are you telling me that?
But don't sweat.
Don't sweat. All right, so, right. I feel like a bit of a Ghostbuster, Susie.
Yeah, you will.
Don't cross the streams. Or in this case, don't cross the bees. Right. Into the bees den.
Let's go.
Oh, they're looking lively already.
They're going in all sorts of directions. I've just been nutted by one. They don't seem happy.
No, they're absolutely fine. They're not stinging, they're just curious.
So we're just giving them a little bit of smoke. It's kind of a knock on the door, let them know that we're coming in.
Very early. So
my
if
goodness.
you get your nose in here...
I was going to say, I can smell it from here.
Yeah.
I can actually smell it from here.
Yeah.
That's
Smell that.
insanely beautiful. Wow.
That's amazing. So we're just really gentle. It's a bit like somebody coming to your house, taking the roof off and lifting a wall out.
It's a burglary, that's what it is,
Yeah.
Susie. Let's not be the bad about it.
So we just got to be really gentle with them, make sure that they're happy. So there you can go, that's the honey and the comb.
Jam-packed.
Bring your hand and just pop it between the frames there, just really gently. You'll
Right.
feel the heat in the hive and the actual heat that coming out of there.
Oh my goodness, yeah. What is it about this honey that makes it so special?
Well, it's heather honey. It's also Northumberland heather honey, so obviously that's very special.
These amazing worker bees make this honey by chewing the nectar and passing it between themselves till it reaches the right consistency.
Oh, do you know what, guys? I've been to some picnic spots in my time, but nothing compares to this. This is incredible. I can't wait. Do you mind if I have a taste?
Go for it.
Here we go. This is a first. That just makes your taste buds sing, that. Oh,
I feel a bit guilty. Each teaspoon represents the entire life's work of about 12 bees. Luke and Susie also use their honey to produce mead, the oldest known alcoholic drink, and a favourite tipple of the Roman Empire, but they've given it a modern twist.
We actually mix some of this really lovely honey that we gather with spring water, and we do a fermentation in the bottle, and this creates bubbles. So it's made in the same way as you would make a champagne.
I mean, it's 7:07 a.m. It's a bit early to be getting on it.
That's lovely.
Do you think this is what the legionaries, or say the kind of higher title people in Roman times would be drinking?
Well, yes. I mean, the Romans valued honey and the beeswax, and they used it in medicine and all manner of things. It wouldn't have been the foot soldiers that would have drunk the mead, but it would have been the ones higher up in the ranks that would have had this sort of thing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like to pull rank, but we better keep moving before the crew get hold of the mead. I'm continuing my journey east to west along Hadrian's Wall.
So this is the beautiful, quaint and idyllic town of Gilsland. And it's a place that straddles two counties. And bear with, if I stand like this, part of me is in Northumberland and the other half is in Cumbria. So I guess you could call me a Northumbrian Cumbrian. I thank you, I'm here all week. See what I did there? That hurt. I think I pulled something. Just taking a bit of a detour from Hadrian's Wall, alongside the River Irthing. I'm looking for a stone. Ah, there it is, not any old stone. The famous popping stone.
So called because after a whirlwind romance, it's where Sir Walter Scott popped the question to his sweetheart.
Hence the name, the popping stone. This is such an impressive sight. I mean, this wall was built to last. I mean, back then, the Roman Empire to everybody was forever. You just start to get imagery of those thousands of soldiers just building this gargantuan structure. I mean, what an achievement. And I know a lot of it has disappeared, but that's only because it was nicked.
The wall might not have been dismantled in Cumbria, but a different type of vandal was at work here.
Oh, bit of a tour going on. Morning, ladies.
Oh,
Do you mind if I join in?
No,
You're doing a bit of a
please do.
tour?
We are. We're having a tour here of Hadrian's Wall.
Oh, lovely. I'm Robson.
Hi.
So what's your name?
I'm Sue.
Sue, are you a tour guide?
I am a tour guide, yes.
And who are you touring here? What's your name?
Christine, Anita, and Jeanette.
Jeanette Robson.
Hello.
So, Sue, what have you been talking about?
What we're here for really is to look at some of the more unusual inscriptions that can be found along the wall.
Inscriptions? Like carvings, kind of carvings of worship and religion, yeah?
There are.
Like
yes.
Augustus was here.
Exactly,
Ah,
yes.
gotcha, okay.
Obviously, graffitiing the wall is a strict no-no these days.
We're looking for a specific type of inscription.
And what specific type of symbol or inscription is that, Sue?
It's a willy.
It's a what?
It's a phallic symbol.
Are you kidding me?
Oh.
What you're saying, there's willies on Hadrian's Wall?
There are willies on
I do not
Hadrian's Wall.
believe you. This is what you lot are doing for your kicks.
We're on
Sod
a
the
wa-
history. Hold me back. Oh, well, let's go and have a look at some willies, shall we?
And so what we're going to look for is a stone on the bottom course which has got an X on it. And then you look up and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 courses up. See what you can find.
1X.
One
Got
X, there's next.
And 6 what? Oh!
Okay.
Jeanette, well spotted. Was that force of habit? Are you telling me that's a 2,000-year-old carving?
Yes. Well, believe it or not, these were used as good luck symbols. And
Really?
oh, yes.
Willies are symbols of good luck.
Symbols of good
no,
luck.
4-leaf clovers are symbols of good luck.
Ah. But in Roman times, this was it. This protected you from the evil eye. The phallic symbol was very, very popular, and people used to wear them around their necks So they were used on above doorways as well.
So they would have been all around the Roman Empire,
all
over
around
the world.
Yes, yes. And it tells us so much about the troops that were here. We
They had
know
a
where they
sense of
came
humour.
from. They had a sense of humour.
Who is that based on? Because I think we're bordering on the realms of fantasy there. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think somebody with a very vivid imagination carved
Yeah.
that.
Sue, I'll be honest with you, the one thing I never thought I'd see on this journey is a 2,000-year-old willy carving. That has been enlightening and fascinating. Hey, lovely to meet you. Take care.
And you,
nice
take
to see
care.
you.
Enjoy your walk.
Enjoy looking for your willies.
Well, that's a phrase I didn't think I'd be saying on this journey. And if looking for stone willies is your thing, apparently there's another 56 of them along the wall. I'm stopping off at Birdoswald, one of the 16 forts along Hadrian's Wall. It lies between Haltwhistle and Brampton, north of the River Irthing. Tony Wilmot has been working here for over 30 years, so knows a thing or two about the mystery of why westwards from here, the wall suddenly changes its structure from stone to grass and mud.
So am I right in thinking suddenly it transitions into a turf wall?
That's right, yeah. From Milecastle 49 to Bowness-On-Solway, it's built of turf.
Now, why was that then?
With a couple of ideas. One of them is the fact that you've got red sandstone over there, you've not got the limestone, so logistics is one explanation. Another explanation that's come up is that they wanted it up fast because there was more of a threat from the western side, so they wanted to build the barrier fast.
Today, the turf wall is largely invisible, but its construction reveals important information about Roman Britain to archaeologists today.
When you're building a turf earthwork, you are taking the turf off and then you're putting it on top of the existing ground surface and you're sealing seeds and pollen, and we can get an idea of what the pre-Roman landscape looked like from analysing the pollen underneath those earthworks. And I can tell you that in the year 122, this was a boggy woodland. 2.5 miles that way, you've got Gray's Moorland. And then over to the east, you've got arable.
Incredible that we know all that from some ancient pollen and seeds.
What is it about archaeology that floats your boat, Tony?
It's the discovery. You get the occasional little bit that flicks you back. And one of those was we were scraping the bottom turf of the turf wall. I saw this little flash of red, which was about the size of my thumbnail, a little oval stone thing, and it was a jasper intaglio from a ring, from a finger ring. Wow. Turned it over, was an imperial eagle with its wings folded, laurel wreath in its beak, flanked by 2 imperial standards.
Oh my lord.
That had dropped out of the ring of a legionary soldier building the turf wall of Hadrian's Wall. And you just got that back to that individual.
Man, love it. Tony, love your knowledge. I love the way you just bring everything to life.
What it's all about.
Mate, pleasure meeting you.
And you.
Wish me luck to the west.
Happy walking.
Thank you.
Better keep on keeping on. I've still got 40 miles to go.
Drinks and snacks? Well, I never. What have we got here? Is this some kind of cute little self-service cafe? Cup of tea, £1. Cheap at half the price. Not bad. Cheers.
I don't think it gets much more British than this. Self-service tea on the side of a World Heritage Site. And in case you're wondering, I'd like to point out I did put money in the honesty box. They just forgot to film it. Honest. If, like me, you find yourself walking along Hadrian's Wall, it really helps if you absolutely love a gate. And I have to be honest, it's completely knackering.
The hell?
I'm feeling it, man. I'm tired. Tell you how tired I am. Even my tiredness is tired. And I'm hungry. And I know you're going, oh, shut up, you're on a jolly, get some perspective. No, I'm hungry. Could murder a chicken casserole. Carbonara. I have a certain penchant for a carbonara. But when you're heading to Brampton in Cumbria, there's only one thing to eat.
Hold on to your hats, because there's a meat fact coming. Cumbria used to be called Cumberland, and it's where the famous sausage gets its name.
This is incredible. Everything you could imagine and more.
Dave has been wrangling sausages here since 1984.
That's what I've come to see and hopefully taste. The famous Cumberland sausage, am I right?
That is the famous Cumberland sausage.
I have to ask, what makes it different to all the other sausages in the world?
It's got to be no less than 20 millimetres thick.
Seriously?
Seriously. Nice. It's got to be heavily spiced, and it's got to be one length, no less than 5 foot.
What?
And it's also got to be in a coil.
Dave's not always been a fan of this Cumbrian delicacy.
My gran used to make her own Cumberland sausage. I couldn't eat it. It was far too peppery for me.
My gran used to make jugged hare.
Jugged hare?
Jugged hare. She'd chop a hare up, put it in a jug, fill the jug with sherry, put a cork on it and put it underground. And then expect her to eat it at Christmas. Bloody awful. Anyway, have to ask, is it good for you?
Look how slim I am. Why don't you come round the counter and I'll show you how it's made?
I never thought you'd ask. Right, in order to make Cumberland sausage, you've got to look the part. Just tied behind my back. Dave, you couldn't do me up, could you, David? Thanks very much. Because, you know, I mean, normal job, I get people to do this. Thanks very much.
Well, I'm sure I can tie your apron. You're going to play with my sausage.
Oi! We're here all week. It's a family show. Steady on. Right. Right, David, I have to ask before we start, what do you actually call someone who produces and makes Cumberland sausage?
Sausage maker.
Stupid question.
Let the sausage coiling masterclass begin.
Right, you're going to take the end of your sausage.
Right.
You're going to put it on the tray. And then you're going to put it in a coil.
Right.
Keep twisting and turning at the same time the sausage, because it'll snap if you don't.
Right.
So you just keep turning.
How am I doing? Oh,
You're doing all right. Yeah, you've got a bit of a twist in it.
I feel like I'm on the generation game.
I've got a kink in me sausage, David. Hang on. Story of my life. Well, I'll give you a 9 out of 10, but let's look over here. Look what I've done here. If I took that to the Tate Modern Gallery, I'd probably get 10 grand for that.
I reckon I'd give you your P45 for that.
Really?
Why don't we cook some off?
I love the way you're thinking, David.
This is what I've been waiting for.
Whoa, Mark, smells amazing.
Beautiful.
Man, that is off the scale. What I love about this shop, it's an amazing array of meat. And just hidden away here, there's a little vegan chickpea roll. That's a nice touch, isn't it?
I like a legume as much as the next person, but I think I'll stick with the sausage today.
That was lovely. Really lovely. David, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
What a day, what an experience. What a taste.
I'm walking along Hadrian's Wall. I've travelled over 60 miles so far, and another 20 to go to the finish line. One thing I didn't expect to find was so much graffiti. Roman legionaries either really liked to leave their mark, or they had too much time on their hands, because as well as carving willies along the wall, they left other examples of their handiwork in some quite hard to reach places.
Now, in my spare time when I'm not in front of the camera, I do like a bit of fishing and cycling. And I've recently taken up climbing, which I think will come in handy today because I'm off to glimpse some ancient Roman graffiti. But a glimpse in this case requires a harness, a helmet, and a head for heights.
And it's here that one of the most important inscriptions in Roman Britain can be found.
Ah, this must be the fella. John Allison, archaeologist. Robson, nice to meet you, buddy. You going to show me some ancient inscriptions?
Yes, you want to drop your bag off?
Yeah.
Thanks, John.
Let's go.
The inscriptions are incredibly rare, and I'm really lucky to be seeing them up close, as they were carved into soft Cumbrian sandstone, which is slowly wearing away.
Are they still in good condition, John?
No, from my observations, I've been walking down here for years, and every time, each year I visit, there seems to be less and less visible. So it looks like they're eroding away, and I personally don't think they'll be here for many more decades.
Seriously, that short?
That short. They're disappearing
Wow.
fast, Robson.
So your job is to preserve these inscriptions to be enjoyed for generations to come, is that it?
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
The Roman markings were only rediscovered in the 18th century, and I can see why. It's not exactly accessible.
Up here?
Up here.
Ah, now it gets interesting.
It's clarty, man. It's gonna get slippy.
All right, lads.
Morning, guys. How we doing?
Very well. Robson, nice to meet you.
I didn't realise how much of a climb it was.
It's a nice job.
I might have oversold myself here.
Nice one.
Here we go then, Robson.
Come on, son. That's what it's all about.
Let's put my catch on.
You know, in my game, this would be defined as a stunt. I used to have people who did this sort of thing. I'll be with you in a sec, John. I'm just admiring the view.
Okay.
Of a steep rock face and the drop to the river below.
We've got the Gelt River in flood below us. The Gelt River, ancient word for crazy river. Oocha. Come on. All right, lad. We're with you in a second, I promise. Oh, felt that. Oh. Aye, aye, aye. Of all the ways to view graffiti, God, that's got to be easier than this, John. Quarrying for stone is a risky business, isn't it? Right, this seems significant, but I have to say, what is this, some kind of ancient Roman emoji?
It looks like an emoji, doesn't it?
It does.
I've come to the conclusion that he's a deity. Not just a deity, but he's a water deity.
So this is something that was worshipped?
More likely, it's a symbol of good luck. They're working next to water,
Right.
these Roman soldiers. Perhaps they're a superstitious lot, and they're asking for good luck, not to fall in the water. Pure speculation, but I like it. That's a good thing about archaeology.
Hashtag stop me falling in the water face.
And do these inscriptions here tell you the type of men that were working on the face here?
We're telling the story of people, Robson, here. What people at the bottom of the food chain were doing. We can, from all these inscriptions, we've got a list of names of people who've been here. Here we've got the optio, the second in command of a Roman century of 80 men, and the centurion who begins with APR. We know who one of the quarry managers were, Mercatius Furni. We've got Epius further across. We've got Julius below us.
It's great we have the names of the men who actually worked here. The lads on the tools, not the ones sitting in the Roman equivalent of head office.
Could these inscriptions and this graffiti be their stamp on their work? Like, we were here, we did this, remember us?
Absolutely. A lot of the inscriptions are them just doing that. This is me, I was here.
I have to say, John, when it comes to history lessons, this is my type of classroom. It's absolutely compelling.
Thanks very much, Robson. It's, as an archaeologist, we don't just want to find stuff, we want to tell people about it too, and the story of the people. So thanks very much for coming. It's cracking there. Cracking, Robson.
Cracking!
Aye.
Cracking. Right, how do we get down?
The wall, eh? It's a wild world of graffiti, penises, mead, rocks and sausage rolls. The more I find out about Hadrian's Wall, the more I'm learning about the people who manned and maintained it. And you know, they're not who I thought they were. On the north side of the River Eden, across from Carlisle city centre, is this lovely field. There's not much evidence of Romans here today, but it was once the largest fort on Hadrian's Wall and home to over 1,000 soldiers. Author and journalist Robin Yassin Kassab discovered an unexpected link to his own Middle Eastern heritage while writing an article about Hadrian's Wall.
I found something which really surprised me, which was that there is the tombstone at Corbridge on the wall of a character called Barates, who was a Syrian, 2 millennia ago. So that in itself was interesting, because 2,000 years ago there were people here from Syria, as my father's a Syrian. There were Iraqis, there were Spaniards, and there's the grave of a Northwest African is buried somewhere on the wall.
Was there one defining moment of your journey along Hadrian's Wall?
For me, the moment was when I discovered that this guy, Barates, had married a local Celtic woman who had become a slave early in her life, and at some point had been bought by Barates the Syrian. And there seems to have been a love story because he spent a lot of money on what was a very elaborate tombstone. Doing that trip down the wall, finding out about these ancient Syrians and Iraqis and their relationships with locals showed that my own blood, if you like, is connected to this history.
From your story, I'm getting that it kind of gave you a sense of place.
I suppose you could say that, yes. I mean, it makes you feel that the whole world is your home, and I think that's true, that all human beings should feel, to some extent, at home anywhere in the world.
Not only do you learn about the past and your origins, you see yourself in the present and how you fit within that world in a much more intelligent way.
Yes.
And therefore, I think you have an idea of where you're going.
If you don't know where you're coming from, you don't know where you're going to, as Bob Marley said.
You have to go out and see it and touch it and feel it and hear people's stories, because that's what it is. Stories, we learn from them all.
Yeah.
I'd get that siren scene too. You'll never sell ice creams going to that. Well, joy talking to you, man. Absolute joy.
Great talking to you too.
It's really inspiring seeing Robin's passion, and it makes me think that the story of Roman Britain isn't really in toilets, tunics and technology. It's in its people, and what a bunch they were. I've done most of it the hard way, walking for miles in what passes for a British summer. But today, I want a bird's eye view.
How you doing, Chris?
Robson, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Very well indeed.
Is it a good afternoon to fly, sir?
Excellent. And you'll be flying the aircraft, so...
Hey?
Oh, yes.
What, have you not got a licence, like?
I have indeed. You'll be in the front,
Right.
I'll be in the back.
I'll be in the front?
You will.
I suspect I need a costume change now.
You will, yep.
And where's my Winnebago?
It's just out the back. Walk this way.
My Winnebago is over here.
I've always been fascinated by flying.
I was in the air training corps as a young lad. Never wanted to be a presenter or an actor. Always wanted to be a pilot. As an air cadet in the air training corps, 861 Squadron, flew gliders, chipmunks, bulldogs, wanted to fly in lightnings.
Sure.
Ended up putting makeup on and punting about in front of a camera. But what, gyrocopters?
Yep.
What do they like to fly?
They're excellent. Really, really good.
Okie dokie, Chris. 3 words very close to my heart.
Yes.
Health and safety.
Excellent.
What are the do's and don'ts from my point of view?
Don't crash.
It's good advice, but it's not enough.
Okay.
All I need to say now is, if I go into the ground like a dart, only to be found like a Roman relic in 2,000 years' time, it's Chris's fault.
I've done a fair bit of flying, but never in one of these.
Stops you falling out when we go upside down.
That's not funny. It's just not funny. I love you, Mum.
Gyroplanes are a cross between a fixed-wing aeroplane and a helicopter, and, according to my director, it's one of the safest aircraft to fly.
There's so many ways to travel alongside Hadrian's Wall. You can walk, you can cycle, of course you can drive the car. But for me, this is the only way to travel.
Robson, you okay?
Yeah, very good. Wow. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
I'm speechless. And if you've watched the rest of the series, you'll know I'm never lost for words.
So we're flying over the ancient Roman town of Carlisle, and there's Carlisle Castle. And if you were a Roman 2,000 years ago, looking for some R&R, you know, if you wanted to let your hair down, Carlisle was the place to be 2,000 years ago. This is great, Chris. This is great. Look at the Solway. It looks stunning. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful sight. And there's the area at the end of Hadrian's Wall. That's where it ends. That's where I'm headed. Wow.
It's amazing what you can see from up here. Although the turf part of Hadrian's Wall isn't visible, it wasn't the only thing the Romans built in this part of the world.
Directly below us is a very long and straight road. And long and straight roads mean only one thing to me: Roman. And these types of structures, infrastructures, are dotted all the way along and around Hadrian's Wall. Incredible. Gotcha.
Thanks, Robson. Should we get you on the controls and fly the aircraft?
You want me to fly the aircraft?
Yeah. So,
okay.
You have control.
So where's my... Okay, I have control,
so
Chris.
The airspeed indicator is the middle dial.
Okay, so I'm just going to bank to the left.
Okay.
I'm looking to the left. There's nothing there. There you go.
Good.
Back to the left.
Straight to left.
Straighten that up.
Great.
Little bank to the right here, Chris.
Just to prove you're flying the aircraft, nothing to do with me. So that's just the voice.
Your man. Just let's make sure the houses don't get any bigger. My goodness. Ah, what a beautiful day. Chris, am I still in control of this aircraft? Oh my goodness. I got distracted there, Chris, and I just thought, oh, the ground's getting a bit closer. I'll just bring us up a bit. I'll just bring the nose up.
I bet you're thinking, oh, he picked up gyrocopter flying quickly. Actually, Chris is back in control, while I do my best Kate Winslet from Titanic impression.
Chris, I cannot thank you enough. That was the trip of a lifetime. I mean, that was amazing. And it's a great way to see the history of this area. It really is. I always wanted to be a pilot. And today I was. With my mate, Chris. Cheers, buddy.
No problem at all.
That trip has really set me up. And I'm now ready for the final part of my journey. I can't quite believe it, but I'm on the final leg of my walk along Hadrian's Wall. I've just had a bird's eye view of my final few miles, and now I'm going to have a view of some birds.
Now, in a world ruled by gods and goddesses, birds of prey played a really important role in Roman belief system. Because of the power of flight, it gave them superiority and symbolism. If you were to hear an owl hoot in ancient Rome, it foretold imminent death. It's true, I read it somewhere.
Hopefully that's just an old Roman wives' tale, because Gary Swainson is about to introduce me to some Cumbrian birds of prey.
Sun's come out. Gary!
Hi, Robson, how are you doing?
I'm very well, nice to meet you.
Okay, so come on, I'll show you the birds.
How many you got on site, Gary?
So we've got about 15 birds altogether.
Who we got here?
This is the star of the show at the moment. This is Pedro, and Pedro is a spectacled owl. So he's just a baby, he's only 15 weeks old.
He's stunning.
Here we go. Excellent.
Wow.
Hiya, pal. How you doing? How you do?
Do you mind if I see you and Pedro in action?
Absolutely not at all. No, that'd be great.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, let's do it. That's it. Let's get you up.
Go on, you beautiful creature.
Good lad. There you go. Hello. Right. Here he is. This is Pedro.
Hello, mate.
He's really gentle. If you want to touch him, he'll nibble your fingers. Yeah, but he won't bite at all. He's very, very gentle.
He won't bite
honestly,
at all.
Honestly, no. I mean,
No, he just went to bite me.
I mean, he won't
He
hurt
went for
you.
my neck. These are some of the most efficient killers in the world.
It's true.
of
Look at
bird-like.
these.
Look at him, yeah.
But actually, he's honestly very gentle. He'll nibble, but there's no biting.
Oh, hello, mate. You're beautiful. Brilliant. Shall we see him in action?
Cool. Yeah, let's take him down the steps here.
Training killer owls not only allowed the Romans to hunt, but intimidate their enemies. It takes a lot of skill and patience.
Right, Gary. Page 1 of training an owl.
First, get your owl.
Right, I'll travel to Paraguay.
Excellent.
Okay, I've done that. I'm back.
But here's one I prepared earlier.
Nice.
And what we're going to do is pop Pedro down on this little perch here. There you go, pal. I'm going to give you a piece of chicken, so he's got a reward this
Right.
time. So, oh, hello. Here's Pedro.
Sorry, Pedro's off.
That's okay.
I just thought he thought my nose on my eye was a piece of chicken. Oh, all right, it's just, I'm all right, everything's fine. Wow.
Excellent.
Pedro, you did it.
He's never actually flown free yet. He's never had a free flight. So, do you want to be the person to fly him free for the first time? Should we
Oh, well,
try it?
let's just beat it on your head, because you could
So-
bugger off.
They say never work with animals and children. Wonder if that applies to adolescent owls too.
Okay, no pressure. This is Pedro's
Pedro.
first free flight with an actor holding a piece of chicken. What could possibly go wrong?
Okay.
This is it, Pedro. It's the big one.
Excellent.
Take
Excellent.
one, mate.
So that's good. At 15 weeks old, he's doing so well. I'm delighted with him.
That's
yeah,
amazing.
well done.
What a great thing to do. There you have a nibble of me finger. This. It's got through to the bone there. Keep going.
What a great day. I wanted to say a real hoot, but the producers wouldn't let me. I'm on the final furlong. What an adventure. What a journey. I've smashed my daily step count. I've eaten 8 bacon butties, that's 1 in every 10 miles. I've crossed dozens of gates, met 79 people, a dog, and an owl. And the end is finally in sight.
Oh, some fellow walkers. Hi guys. How you doing? You heading to Bowness-On-Solway?
Yeah.
What we got going on here then?
This is a walking stick flute.
A walking stick flute. Oh, this is the first. Come on, Nick. That has to be the most surreal moment of this whole journey. But that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
It's been great meeting people along the way, but I think I'd like to do this last bit on my own.
Welcome to the end of the Hadrian's Wall path. It's lovely, look at that. Isn't that pretty?
I'm glad I walked east to west. What a beautiful place to finish. I can't quite believe it, but it's time for my final passport stamp. That feels good.
I've done what I set out to do. I think I'll go for a walk along the beach.
I've been lucky enough to travel all over the world. 132 countries at the last count. I've seen some amazing things and been to some extreme places. But I've always liked coming home. And this journey has made me realize home isn't your living room. It's not even your street or your town. It's not what you can see or touch. It's what you feel. It's where your heart takes you.
I have learned so much on this journey. From sanitation, education, medicine, roads, wine, public health system, freshwater system. The Romans, they gave us it all. And for me, this has been a story of all people from all places at all times. And the story of Hadrian's Wall and everything it tells us of our past is one of the most beautiful and unique time capsules in the world. And I love the fact that people from all over the world come to visit a place that I am still very proud to call home.